Alright guys, so there's some more progress being made on the yellow whip. Rex has still been working on it a fair bit while I'm not here. It's another one of those things where, you know, I'm not here all the time. Rex doesn't have a family, so he's here just about all the time working on this thing. So there's going to be quite a bit of it that I'm probably going to miss as far as the content goes. And I do apologise, but I will try and go through and explain them as best I can as it goes along. So last night Rex worked on getting the thermo fans in. So these are actually BA Falcon thermo fans. These are the ones that I pulled out with the barra out of my Falcon that I had planned to use on the VS, but obviously they didn't fit at all in the VS. So they were sitting on the shelf and we decided to use them for this. So they're great thermos, they draw a buttload of air, and they're cheap and easy to get, so it makes a lot of sense. So there's actually not a lot of room by the time these fans are in for the accessory drawers and everything from the LS to the radiator. So this top hose is going to be a bit of a challenge, but that should be right. And we've had to double this back to give us some room for the top radiator hose. But that also works pretty well with our airbox idea, because it means that a perfect 90 is pretty much going to get us directly into the airbox, and that's all going to work really well. So with how tidy this is all going to end up being and how little, you know, clutter and stuff there's going to be in the engine bay by the time this is all done, decided to go and chuck the ECU in the engine bay. We normally in conversions still try and put it inside the cab, but in this case the old H series inside, it's full of crap at the moment, so I can't really show you, but for a lot of you who've owned these cars already know, but the H series interior is very, very simple in that there's probably not going to be very many places for us to hide an ECU in the footwell anyway. There's not much there to cover it up, so it's sort of, this is where it is in the Commodore, which means it's less modifications to the loom, and it's nice and easy, and it should go there fine. So it's not a big problem. That's all good. We've also got our new fuse box set up. So these are the same fuse boxes that we used in the 80 series, in the LS swap in the 80 series. So much like our 80 series, we do plan on getting all of the cruise control, everything working on this thing, and we do plan on actually retrofitting some sort of AC system to it. I'm pretty sure we should have an AC dash in one of our H series on the property somewhere, so we do plan on running AC. However, you would have seen when we put the engine together, we did have the AC pump on it in its traditional location, but with the H series engine mounts from Rod Shop, they actually get in the way of the AC bracket where the AC pump is located on the LS. So we're going to have to buy probably a high mount AC setup for it, which is not a big problem, but it's one of those things we're not too worried about at the moment. We'll get the car running and get it tuned and get it on the street, then we'll worry about doing AC later on. We've still got a few months till summer, so it's not a huge deal at the moment, but we also notice after moving it around and stuff, finally with the turbo and everything in, it is pretty blatantly obvious from like places up here. You can definitely see it straight through the gap. So we're thinking about just making like a panel that sits on top of that bit of box section that sort of just hides it in there a little bit. And probably the same thing through the side, try and make something to hide it a bit, but we already spoke about doing that. We already knew that was probably going to be the case, so that's not a big problem at all. But from behind you can't see it at all, which is awesome. And we've just been sort of going through exactly how we're going to sort out the exhaust and the exits and what we're going to do with it. I think at this stage we're just planning on just running a single 3.5 inch as a dump. I think is going to be the plan. We thought about splitting it into twin 3s so that it looked a bit more traditional, twin outlet for a V8 and stuff, but as much as we'd love to do that, it's a lot more material, it's a lot more fab work that's not really necessary. So today's Friday, and the plan was that for tonight and tomorrow we were going to run through and get all the wiring and stuff sorted on this thing and work on it, but we just had busted and rusted. He's actually on his way out today. He was meant to come out tomorrow for us to tune his HQ, but he had an oopsie, and we'll explain all that in a different video of his car, but you'll see that. But it's pretty much put a stop on our plans to work on this over the next 2 days. But Rex is going to spend Sunday on it. Unfortunately, I won't be here, but he's going to try and get all the wiring sorted on it. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the big yellow tonner. Sorry, this weekend that was meant to be spent on the tonner ended up getting spent on customer cars. Once again, seems to be a going theme lately of so much freaking work going on. Anyway, I apologize, the start of this episode is probably going to be a little bit patchy because we don't have a whole weekend to work on this thing anymore. We've only got a few hours on this lovely Sunday afternoon. But anyway, Rex is working on gate position because we don't have all the materials we need to finish the dump pipe and stuff yet. But as you can see, what he's done here, looking bloody beautiful if you ask me, looking really good. So we've got our gate provision off there, it's just about to weld on the flange. But so as you can see, that's the turbo flange there. So this is as it comes up past the fuel tank.
As we always yap on about priority flow, never mind the ugliness that's in there, but
good priority flow. Should be
So
plenty to control this thing.
That's where it sits up under there. That's into the turbo. That's straight off the bend, up, out.
Yep.
So
Out
that
the side.
50mm gate should be able to control all of the boosts.
Woo! So apart from that, I think that's literally all. I don't think I have any other progress to add on from the last episode. I think that's just it.
Nah, not at the moment, nothing worse.
So we're waiting for Ben Brothers to get some more stock of 3.5-inch stainless so that we can get the materials to do the dump pipe. So until then,
Welding gloves
do
with
need-
sand.
anyway, this thing was powering along, but we've just been that freaking busy with so much stuff going on that it's sort of somewhat hit a wall, which is a pain, but anyway. You get that some days. We've still got a fair bit of time to get it finished, so it's okay. Oh, she's looking good. Yeehaw. It's funny, Rex and I were talking about it. For how much room we started with under here, it looked like it was going to be just a breeze and there was going to be room for days, but we're very quickly running out of room.
Yeah, I need to do some serious heat shielding around this fuel tank.
Yep. We knew that was going to be the case. Yeah, so another bit of progress which I forgot to show you is Rex has actually run the drain, as you can see, from the scavenge pump.
And those lines.
Actually, I had a comment as well. Someone asked what scavenge pump we're running, and that's it.
Yeah, I bought that years and years ago. I can't remember where I got it from or how I found it, but
I'd say, being a marine pump, I'd say people like Whitworths and stuff like that, you'd be able to get it from anywhere like that.
yeah, the idea of that was that it's, I think they're brass gears, like it's all brass bits, so there's no problem with that if it does run dry, low oil
Yep.
supply at idle and
yep.
stuff. It doesn't matter to this thing,
Yeah, okay.
and it's designed for diesel and oil, things like that.
Yeah.
So it's not a water pump that's repurposed.
So you can also see this line here, which is going to be our cooler lines for the heat exchange for the barrel there. So these run them and the oil drain, they all run up here.
They just need to be secured properly eventually.
Shine the light right in my eyes.
They're just tied up there just so I could work out where they're going to go. And
Yep. So as you can see, got some heat shielding on the drain, which goes to the sump there, so it should just pump oil to there. Those go right up the front to the cooler, or where the heat transfer is going to go, which is that right there. And Rex has also sorted out this little dick, so that's going to be our oil feed for the turbo. So that'll run a -4 back to the turbo. And Rex is also going to put an adapter on it so that we can put our aftermarket oil pressure sensor on that as well. So that's the plan with that. This is our little heat core transfer majig, as you can see. Whoop. So, yeah, hopefully it works out okay. We'll find out, I suppose.
yeah,
That should be easy enough to fit.
It's annoying. The fucking brackets are on the wrong side.
Oh, yep.
It's meant to go that way, so it's alright. I'm just going to have to make the brackets off the front of it.
It's weird, it doesn't look like that tank's split. Wonder if it's divided inside at all.
It should be. Yeah, you should have a divider in there.
Hopefully. But anyway, that should have no troubles fitting.
I can't see any light.
Well, hopefully there's a divider in there.
Surely, there has to be.
So that is the small amount of progress that's been made on this thing in the one. It's currently Monday morning, so and it's about time to start making noise. So we're gonna have to get on to doing some actual work. But
Only had like half a day
yeah,
to actually do it. So.
at least we don't have anything that needs to go on the hoist till Wednesday, so the toner can stay there for a little while, and Rex can do a little bit of work here and there in the spare time. With all the spare time we're gonna have over the next couple of weeks. Anyway, we'll tune back in. Alright guys, so we're finally back with the yellow tonner. I think it's actually now been 2 weekends since I did an update. I don't actually think I did an update when I got back this week, after I was away.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. So it's actually been 2 weekends, or not complete weekends, pretty much 2 half days. Because as you can see now, which you've all have probably seen in other videos by now, the shed's looking very different. It's been a big couple of weekends of just sorting stuff out. So Rex hasn't really had full weekends to spend on this thing, which has been wearing him down, I think, because he gets not as much done as he thinks he should be.
Yeah,
but it's
today feels like another big day of fuck all.
Yeah.
I guess there's a lot of little things.
It's a lot of little things, a lot of slow progress. I think when I left is that weekend, we had talked about him doing the wiring, which he didn't actually get any time for. Never got time to wire it in yet, which is probably good because it's something I think that a lot of the viewers would probably want to see more than anything else. So hopefully when it does come time to do that, I'll be around to film it pretty well. But as you can see, good progress. Battery tray's all mounted up in this side. His little fuse box and relay holders there. These are the same ones that we run on the V80, and they're a full waterproof.
I'll turn that around, but yeah.
Full waterproof, dustproof relay and fuse holder.
Yeah.
Which are really, really handy. We run them in, 2 in the V80, one for the body loom, one for the engine side of things, and they've been absolutely great. So big fans of these little boxes. They're nice and little in the street, and they look really neat. So that's awesome. As you can see, our thermo fans are properly mounted. Rex managed to get them really tight into the radiator. He's really happy with that.
Took a lot of cutting and fucking around to make it work, but made brackets, and they're really nice and tight. Got us the most we could out of this little area here. And I don't know if they've seen it, but yeah, got the trans cooler,
no,
and cooler, all that stuff's all mounted in the front there. And
so that's our heat exchange for the water to air cooler there at the front. Plus then there is a trans cooler behind that, attached to the radiator. Trans lines are made here, as you can see, and the cooler lines are also made. They just have to be terminated at this end. As you can see, this intake pipe's getting tacked together. So I've starting to work out the airbox.
Yeah, just made up. I've got 2 sides of the airbox mounted now. I just need to make one for this side just to hold it a bit steady, and then that intake pipe, that's how it's going to look, and then with a joiner on that and painted black.
That's how it'll look from up here.
It'll look, and it'll look really stealthy and cool. And I moved all the wiring that used to run here. I actually undid all that. I've run that all under guard now as well. That was a bit of mucking around, and I'm going to run the new wiring. I'm not going to go too nuts with it, but I am just going to run the loom. The engine loom's just going to have the body plugs back there. I'm just going to run that under the booster and just hide it a little bit.
Yep.
It also leaves room here. I'll have to work it out. I'll put the cruise control module somewhere over there as well, and yeah, I don't know if we can lift it up, I guess, but I've done the drain and painted the turbo. And
yeah, I don't think they've seen a lot of the dump pipe yet, so
yeah, alright.
Lift it up and show them that. Quick merch plug as well. These shirts came out so good on this colour, I'm stoked with them. So head to the shop and get yourself one. Go into the drawer to win yourself a turbo. Alright, so back underneath now. Not much to report here. I think last time we did an update, we showed them these. The lines, which go up the front there, which is all done. That's all done.
Turbo's all blacked out.
Turbo's all painted black, yeah.
Stealthified, murdered out and whatnot.
Looking really good. So about the only other thing is Rex's dump pipe, and you can see started on the screamer pipe with the gate up there. Started working that way back.
Just out of material at this point.
Yeah, at this point it's been hard with the material. So we were getting a lot of support from our boys there at Ben Brothers, which has been great, and we really like working with their materials. However, at this stage, they're out of stock until probably the next couple of weeks. It's going to be a few weeks till we get stock in. So unfortunately, we're probably just going to have to get stock from elsewhere because we can't afford to wait that long, not only for this, but a few other jobs we've got coming up. So that's a bit of a shame because we do really like his material, but it is what it is. We'll have to try and get material from somewhere else to finish this off. But as you can see, the dump pipe is made all the way back to there, that bend, which is Rex's planning. He's decided to bring it out at an offset exit as we.
I've got enough material in another bend. I can get it to here. It's just that I don't want to do it until I get that V band sorted out, because there is
a little bit of play.
There's a fair bit of movement in it because I can't tighten it, so I don't want to.
Yeah.
Go
so Rex actually he was doing this V-band up on the turbo and stripped it, so it doesn't tight anymore, and it's
really shit.
It's the V-band that came with the turbo, and
it's the size of the friggin' thread on it.
It's a weird size. So anyway, we're trying to get another V-band, just another clamp to replace that one, so that we can fix that. But apart from that, you can see the dump pipe going along there, and Rex's plan for the screamer is for it to pretty much run where you can see it up there, and then down out pretty much here, isn't it?
Pretty much it'll just do from where it is up there, just 90, and then straight down behind the reservoir and just point fucking straight down for all I care. If I ever decide to later on, it's in a pretty good spot. that we can plumb
Plumb
it
it back in.
straight back into the dump there if it really felt like it, but I don't.
All right, guys, that's about all we've got to report on the Big Yellow. Hopefully this is enough for a whole episode, because I want to edit and release this because I want to give you a bit of an update on where this is at. I don't want it to be absent from the channel for another couple of weeks, because, you know, over the next few weeks, the way things have been going, we've got heaps of catch up to do. So it's probably going to be another one of those things where probably for the next few weeks it's going to be fairly slow progress until we catch up on some other stuff. But at this stage, until we get some more fab materials, which we're not sure when that's going to happen, the next big thing still is going to be the wiring. So hopefully in the next episode we'll see some wiring happening, which will hopefully maybe be next weekend. We'll see how we go. But yeah, that's the update on the Big Yellow. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. Hopefully it's not too short. I'd say that it's probably about 20 minutes long or something. Anyway, thanks for watching. As always, hope to see you on the next one. Peace out. See you. Bye.